Greetings. Welcome to Conversations with Tony Mobley. Today on Conversation with Tony Mobley, Mr. Tuomo Kulomaa, the founder of SPX, will be my guest. And I don't know about you, but I'm really excited about having him on. First of all, I want to thank him for staying up to 3 a.m. his time to be on Conversation with Tony Mobley. This is episode 23 of 2025. And we are thankful to have him here with us. We are powered by Memo Live. I wanted to thank the team behind Conversation with Tony Mobley. And you can ask your questions in the YouTube chat, or there's a link in the YouTube chat where you can use Mukana. The benefits of using Mukana is that you can vote your questions up and down. It's courtesy of Alex Lindsay. We want to thank everyone so much for this chance to have this conversation, and we're going to get right into it. And the very first question is, who is Tuomo Kulomaa?
Well, Tuomo is a guy from Finland who seems to be one of those people that have a single idea in their life, which happens to be graphics in my situation. So I've been doing broadcast graphics for quite some time, close to 30 years now. I started when I was a kid. I was often you would find me drawing. So I would have a pen and paper, and I was just scribbling something on it. And when I became a teenager, I started to do like little posters. I was drawing motorcycles and whatnot, and dreaming about stuff. And at some point, I started to tinker with computers. I never had a computer when I was a kid myself. My uncle had one, so when I was visiting him, I would always be sitting on his computer and trying things out. And then one of the jobs that I landed when I was a young man, there was one I was doing. I was a technical drawsman. I was doing like technical illustrations and diagrams and flow charts and these kind of illustrations for like engineering tasks. And but I wanted to really be in advertising, so I started to like add colors into my drawings more, and I was starting to play around with computers, and uh, and uh, and in an engineering office that I found myself, there was one computer at the time, and that was the the bookkeeper of the company had one. And during the weekends, I asked to borrow that so I could tinker with the computer, and then I found a way to use text and animate that on screen. That screen was not a like graphics screen really. I don't think it even had colors at the time, and so there was a thing called ASCII animation, which meant that you could print 80 characters wide and 25 characters tall. You could use like any characters from the computer on screen, and you could arrange these characters there, and you could store that into an image buffer, and then you could create a new image buffer, and you could rearrange these letters, and over time you could really create animations just by using like letters and characters and numbers on screen. And that was the first time I started to really play around with animations, and then I came I came to know an actual animation program, and then I started to do it more and more over the weekends, and in the night I was using their computer, and eventually I had one of my own, and then I found 3D animation packages, and I started to do that. And few years into it, I was in advertising. Then I moved into broadcast TV. I was doing broadcast graphics, and here we are.
Here we are. Thank you so much for sharing that. We have a question from Clarlock Lopez Waterman from Brevard, North Carolina. His question is, how has the Zoom app gone for you? Has it been popular?
That's a great and interesting question. So SPX Graphics has this application that you can use these animations on screen in Zoom. That thing has been around, I think, 3 years, 2.5 years, something like that. I don't remember exactly. I could check it. But anyway, so we have had this application for more than 2 years anyway. And when we launched it, it was pretty bad, the application itself. But a lot of people started to use it nevertheless, even though it was a bit broken. It was technically it was still in beta, so it wasn't really like a version 1 release. We just wanted to get it out to the people so we could like get feedback, and we didn't want to sit on it. So, but over time, we have made improvements into the application. It is in active development all the time. We have a dedicated team doing it, and now it's picking up speed. So we do have, I don't know the exact number, but we have, anyway, it's in the tens of thousands that we have the users, and it seems to be doing pretty well in the Zoom app marketplace. So in several categories, it is one of the top 3 applications. So I think it's doing all right.
And I am one of your users. I
Yes.
am. I've been using it now for, I'm sure, a little bit more than 2 years,
Yeah.
and I just want to share with you that I thank you for. I think I initially started with the Office Hours version of it, and then I've moved on to the paid version. I'm very happy with it, and I use it with my house of worship, Miracle Bible Way Church of Christ, and hopefully later on I'll get a chance to share with you some of the graphics that I'm using with the house of worship. And I will admit that the only thing that I was showing most of last year was the church logo.
Mm.
However, this year I have gone beyond just using the church logo, and so I hope that I impress you just a little bit with what I'm doing for my house of worship.
All right, it's going to be interesting to see. Absolutely.
Okay.
I always find it super interesting when I can see how people are using our applications, because when we are thinking about how these applications should work and what the user interface should be like and what the output should be like and the whole user experience, it is always just one way how we are thinking about it. But when we actually release to the hands of actual end users, they will find new and creative ways how to use it, and use it the wrong way even. Like they might be using a feature for something that we never anticipated.
And so our next question is, what is SPX graphics? But before you answer that, I'm going to share a little bit of a video that's on LinkedIn, and then I'm going to ask you to fill in the gaps. So we're gonna do that right now, and make sure that the audio is available. I'm going to turn to that. Here we go. Okay. So we shared the video, and now you can tell us what SPX graphics really is.
Yeah, well, SPX Graphics is a company which it's a software company which has two products, and the first product is a graphic system for broadcast and media production. And what does that mean? That means that there are a handful of system vendors in broadcasting to be able to deliver on-screen graphics live, meaning that while your show is being broadcast, you can overlay screen with some live data-based graphics, uh, and that is an application that we really use, or our clients use, for all kinds of live media production, being television shows, sports, news, live streams, live events. Sporting venues might be using that for on screen, like displays what they have in the venue. So there are multiple use cases for that, and that is an application that uh, can be run on a computer of your own, or we have a cloud version of that. So it's a production tool, and the second thing that SPX does is the application, that version of that graphic system for TV. We have turned that into a simplified version for Zoom users. So we have SPX graphics for Zoom. It's basically a Zoom plugin that you can add to your Zoom client and use that in meetings. And the third thing that SPX graphics does is creative services. So we work with our clients to implement their designs as graphics. So we can do that both in the broadcast side or in the production side, and in Zoom as well. So we have enterprise clients who have given us their brand identity, and we have then implemented that as graphics for Zoom. So that's what we do. And we are a company based out of Finland. We have an international team of developers. They actually all live in Finland, even though they are very international. So we have guys from Bangladesh, we have guys from Vietnam, Russia, Finland, Japan, States. We have people from many places, but they all live in Finland, and yeah, that's what we do. That's SPX.
Okay. Can you talk about the features of the free version for those people who want to add a little flair to their regular Zooms?
Right. Yes. So our Zoom application is available in two versions, basically, or actually three, but let's talk about two. So the third one is enterprise, so for bigger clients. But let's talk about the free one and the pro one. So the free one is really, like the name implies, it's free. So you can just add the application. It's just a single click. You will need to log into your Zoom and give it permissions, and then it will be installed into your Zoom client, and I will show it shortly. And that has features to get you going. There are some limitations there, and I can walk you through those. Then we have the Pro version, which is a paid subscription. It's roughly like it's less than 10 bucks a month, and that unlocks everything. So everything we have ever put into the application, you can just use. So it's a buffet. So you can pick and choose what you want to have, because technically the application is basically like a foundation for installing graphics layers onto it. And the free version comes with two different base design styles. So you can have your name and your company logo there. No, sorry, the logo is something which I think you will need to have the pro version. But anyway, so you can use the lower thirds. You can show different things on screen. I can do a little demo here if you want me to.
Sure.
And that free version actually gets you pretty far. There are some things that the free one does. So if I now simulate that here just quickly, so let's do this. So you should see this animation over my head. So this thing here shows up in the free version. Like every 15 minutes or so, it might show this kind of a animation on it, and yeah. So if I do a little screen presentation, so if I can share my screen here, so here we go. So now you can see my screen, and I have. So it's giving me now this mirroring effect. How can I turn that off? All right, let's just remove this window for now. So this is the plugin, the SPX graphics for Zoom plugin, and its user interface. Now it's floating here in this separate window. And in this window, we have layers. So layers are typically, they are name strap, so you can fill in your name and the company name, for instance. Then you have a place for logo. Then we have a feature called headlines, which can be kind of a news ticker, kind of a graphic. So it might scroll your information at the bottom of the screen, and then there's a full screen message. So if you want to like do some kind of information that you will be back in a couple of minutes or whatever, and you can show that. And each one of these layers here you can open up like that, so it reveals its all its input fields, that what you can really do with that layer. So if we start with the name strap here, so now we have just two text fields. So we have my name and the company name or a job title, and then I can play it. And when it's playing, you can see this green little toggle here. And I'm going to show it what it looks like shortly. But this is a toggle. So if I turn this off, it's going to look like this. And when I turn it on, it's going to animate that graphic on screen, which I will be showing shortly. Same applies to all of these other layers. So you can have these running at the same time. And if I do this, you will start to see these graphics on screen. And let me do this so we can actually see myself. Well, yeah, 1 second. It's probably this one. Oh, I think I will need to stop sharing because it gives us this infinite mirroring effect.
Okay.
So let's go back in here. All right, so remember what I shared. So we had these 4 toggles. So my name strap, using this design that I have chosen, it animates on, and if I turn it off, it animates out. And this animation is something that is design specific. Now I'm using a feature called Insight. If I choose one of the free ones that comes with the application, which is called Starter. Here we go. So now if I play this design, like so, so now it looks like that. And the color that you can see on screen is one of the default colors. I can go into settings of that specific design, and I can change it to, let's say, green. So now the colors on screen change to green. And if I go into the third option, which is blue, it looks like that. And remember, I showed that there were 4 layers there. So this is just one layer on screen right now, and it has 3 places for text. So if I rename this, so let's call it AAA, the second one is BBB, and the third one is CCC. Now when I play it on, you can see that we have A, B, and C right there. And if I enable another layer, which is the headlines, so this is the kind of a news ticker design. This one, you can have any amount of text. So the user interface is a text box, and each line represents an item. And you can have 1 item in there, so it's just going to sit there forever. But if you have, let's say, 100 items, it is going to scroll through those. And and this one you can automate it. So now I'm having it running. Let's see, this is running in 5-second intervals. I can make it run faster. So if I choose a 3-second option, it is start to go through these items faster. So now it just shows each one of them for 3 seconds. I can also force it to show these in a manual mode. So now when I do that, we are going to be on the first one. So this is the first item, and it's just going to stay there for as long as I want. And in the user interface, I have now a continue button. And if I click on the continue button, it is going to go to the next item. So now it's going to stay there for as long as I need. And then I can just click on the continue again, and there we go. So this is the principle of SPX graphics for Zoom. So you have this side panel, as we call it. It has these controls. You can control these, and it will render graphics over your main video.
That's fantastic. And this is all with the free version. So houses of worship and small businesses, if you want to give your Zoom meetings a little bit of flair, I encourage you to try out this free version of SPX. And then maybe down the line, you might want to go for the pro version, depending on your needs. But I think this is fantastic. And as I said to Tuomo, I've been using it now for almost 2 years with my house of worship. And I basically was just sharing the church logo. And so now I've gone it, I've upped the ante, and I've asked some of the House of Worship members to watch me tonight on this conversation, and so I'm going to be curious to whether or not they've noticed the new things on SPX that I've been bringing in. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now, and so you guys can see Tony Mobley and his house of worship. So this is the first one I turn on is the church logo. And so you can see it right here at the top right. So that's the church logo. And so this is how I'm using the lower third. So you can see some of the church's colors are red, white, and black. So I was trying to get as close to that as I could, Tuomo. So
Mm-hmm.
uh, so this is my most recent sermon title
Mm-hmm.
that I'm showing there. And when I want to be off camera, instead of turning the camera off, this is what I turn on. And so that's my the church logo. But I have a better one. Excuse me. Excuse me. I use this one down here. So I'm gonna turn that off. And I use this one when I'm really calling myself to get fancy. So this one is called logo. And so that's the one. And this one is 3D. It's not static. You can see it. It's kind of depending on how you're looking at it.
Yeah,
So
nice, nice.
and so this is just a cross I just wanted to bring in just to see if I could bring it in. And we have this is another one. This is full screen. Um, and there's some more. Let's see. I don't know if you can see that, but
Yep, that's the progress bar. Yeah. So
yes,
so we can see that it's you have set a duration for that, and
yeah,
it's gonna
yeah.
travel across the screen to give you kind of a countdown or a progress bar of your presentation or meeting.
Okay. I'm going to show two more, and then I'm going to let you critique it. so, so where is my? Oh, this one I wanted to show.
Hmm.
So this one is the clap. Thank you, Lord. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. So, and then the final one that I want to show you tonight, but I have a few more that I could show you guys, but I'm not going to do that. So this one is the QR code, and it goes to Conversation with Tony Mobley. If you scan that QR code, it will take you to the Conversation with Tony Mobley website. So that's me using SPX graphics. So I'm going to turn everything off. And so what's the verdict?
The verdict is
And
that,
you can be honest.
yep.
We have a reputation for doing live demos and dealing with the consequences.
Yes, yes, of course, of course. That's what live mean. Doing things live, you cannot take a like do another take. So it already went out. So I would say good stuff. So you have found a great collection of individual features, and with those individual features, you can create the presentation that you want to do. So I think you have found a nice collection of features. Obviously, there is going to be a lot more options how to do things, but I think you have found a nice set of tools there. Like I can identify at least you were using image layer and image carousel, animated emoji, progress bar, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, very good stuff. And uh, one thing to think about there is like I believe the image that you showed there as your full screen logo. Uh, and the color of the logo and the color of the background didn't match perfectly. So there is some change in there. So you might want to tweak that background color a little bit. And one tip there is that there is a color picker feature. So wherever you can choose a custom color in SPX, there is a color picker. So you can drag a picker over your image and you can pick any color from it. So if you want to match your branding, so you can load up your logo, for instance, and if it has your corporate color and you want to match that to your lower third, you can choose the color picker option to pick your brand color from the logo, which makes sure
Okay.
that everything is super constant,
And I
consistent.
want to, yeah, I think that's amazing. So I want to say thank you again for creating this product, and I want to let everybody know that I'm paying $10, less than $10 a month for this. I'm very happy with it, and I hope some of the House of Worship members are watching. I'm going to encourage each and every one of you to get a subscription, but before you do that, try out the free version. You might be just
Exactly.
happy with the free version,
Yep.
but we can up our ante in terms of our House of Worship experience on Zoom. And so, thank you again.
Thank you. That's that's good to hear that you're using these for these presentations, because we know that a lot of like of course that is one use case of it, but like in corporate world, some companies they spend all of their office hours, basically all of the working day they spend on Zoom calls, and we are, as a company, we are trying to achieve two things. We are trying to make your Zoom experiences more enjoyable, more engaging. That's one of the reasons, or one of the aims. And the second one is meeting efficiency. So that's why, for instance, that progress bar is one of those things that can help to make sure that you don't go over, because you know that if you go over your meeting, you're going to be late for your next one, and you don't have a break in between. So we are trying to make your meetings more efficient. And let me share what I can actually enable a thing here, which is exactly that. So this is going to be running with the default content, but I can walk you through these things. So this is an item which we call a timed agenda, uh, or a meeting manager. Actually, we changed the name of it. So this one is your agenda. So you can plan your meeting or your presentation, and once you get going, so like here I'm introducing our weekly meeting or whatever, and now when I actually turn this on, you can see that this starts to flash this color, and then it's going to minimize, and it's going to minimize into a progress bar, and it's going to increase that progress bar to the end of it, and you have your time remaining showing up there, which helps you to plan your meeting. So you can set like 7 minutes for your first thing, 2 minutes for the second thing, and so on. And of course, we know that in actual life, things doesn't always go like you planned. So with like here, if we already went through the first thing, so we just don't want to sit here and wait the progress part to complete, we can just click on the continue button, and it is going to reveal our agenda. And if I click on continue again, it is going to advance to the second item. And now it's going to collapse, and it's going to show that animation in the smaller size. And then we can go through all of these items like that. So now I'm moving on to the third one. And if I go to the last one, like so, oh, no, I clicked stop accidentally. One more, let's try again. So let's start from the top. So first one, here we go. So now it's going to animate to the smaller version. Then I'm going to open it, and I'm going to click continue, so it skips to the next item. And the next item is going to collapse into the small version, like so, automatically. And if I keep on going, this is our beta version, so it's probably broken, but we'll see. I'm going to try to advance it, because I want to show a feature what happens when you actually end your meeting. So now we are in the third item, and if I keep on going, I want to go to the last one, any other business, like so. So now we are in the last item, and we are talking through it. So it's any other business for 60 minutes, and now I should be able to conclude our meeting. So we saved 59 minutes 12 seconds. So our meeting was supposed to be 60 minutes long, but we went through it in just 1 minute. So we didn't meet our target, and that's why we have the crying icon here, because we are trying to make project managers who are conducting these meetings to be precise in their meeting planning, and this tool is there really to help them to drive the meeting.
That's fantastic. And I want to encourage those who are watching on YouTube, please submit your questions. He is up 3 a.m. his time to have this conversation with me, and so please ask your questions at this time. And I want to say that if you are not just a house of worship, as Tuomo has already said, if you're a house of worship or a small business and you do most of your business on Zoom, then this is something that you want to take a look at. And you can, use the free version. There's nothing wrong with that. And you'll be surprised at the things that you can do with the free version. Clark Lopez Waterman is back, and he says, what was the most wrong way that someone used the app that you liked the most?
The wrong way, let me think. That's a great question, because I mentioned this idea earlier, that people really are finding ways to use the app in a way that we never thought about. Let me think here. I cannot come up with anything good. Well, one thing what we can really say is that you can, like, emojis is a thing that people use quite a bit, and not everybody knows that you can, wherever you can type text, you can insert emojis. So that's one way how you can use text incorrectly, is by not typing in text but really putting in emojis. So if I try to do something here, so let's say that I have this full screen message, and I want to have a little coffee break, so I might introduce a coffee hang on, I'm searching for one. So here we go. So now I have this icon in here. I'm going to play it. So here we go. So I am going to go and grab a cup of coffee. So this is just a text field, but I just used an emoji instead of text in there. So if I would take this and add something in here, coffee time, and play it again, so you will see like what it normally looks like with the text. But emojis is a great way of communicating simple ideas. So that could be one of those things that people are finding, that they can use the app incorrectly, to use emojis instead of text. So that would be one of those.
Thank you, Klalak, for your question, and thank you, Tuomo, for your answer. Um, is there anything that's jumping out at you right? Excuse me. Excuse me. Is there anything jumping out at you right now that you want to share with us regarding SPX?
Yeah, so we spoke about the features in the free version, but I would like to show something from my desktop. If I want, if I could share my screen again, and I will minimize the video so it doesn't do this mirroring effect. Let's see here. So in the application, we have three tabs at the top. So we have SPX graphics here, which is all our layers. So we have the first ones that I went through, and then we have a thing called additional layers. And these are the things that Tony has been using to show, like the church logo in full screen. So he was using an image layer feature. So here we can add more features into our application. So some of this is what we call the store or a library. So if you're a free user, this button up here will read store. But if you are a pro user like I am, this reads library. And all these features that you can find in here, you can just add. So if you are a paid user, you can add it for free because it's included into your subscription. If you are a free user, you can subscribe to this one thing, and this would, like, this simple text feature is like, I think this is less than $1 a month. So, but for pro users, all these things you can add to your SPX from the store. And so if we actually choose this, which one was it? Simple text. So I click on add, and now it has been added to my SPX. And here I can click the plus button to really bring it onto my experience here. So if I'm going to disable this meeting manager and I want to have the simple text instead. So now I have added this into my collection, or into my user interface here. I can populate it with content, and then I can just play it. And if I go back to the video, so if I stop the sharing, I should have it on screen, like right now. So this is how you can add these additional features into your SPX. And from the store or from the library, you can find free items, you can find paid items if you're a free user. But really, if you're a pro user, all those are for you to use. And we are introducing new features in there occasionally. We haven't been super fast to do those. We are trying to pick up speed because we released this feature that all of these additional graphics are basically free for pro user, or they're included into your subscription. So we are finding that much more people are really finding the library feature or the store feature useful, because they can just go in there and they can add features into their experience and create whatever kind of a presentation that they want. So that was just one thing that I wanted to share with you.
Okay. I'm using Faith. And can you talk about how it developed and how long it's been available, and the pluses to it to using Faith.
Absolutely. So Faith is a name of a base design that we have. So let me pull it up onto my screen. So now it just went into the configuration, and I'm typing something in here to replace the default text, and I'm going to be showing this. Here, so let's play this. So yeah, so right. So on my screen you can see like my name right here. So Faith template has been designed for House of Worship. So the reason why this name strap is in that position is that we have reserved the bottom of the screen for a text carousel, which looks something like this. So if I bring it on, it will have some kind of a let's not choose any icon here first. So let me show this as a blank. So now it's showing these verses down here. And this uses the same basic principle as I demonstrated earlier. So you can have a list of text items in there. It can go on automatically, or you can advance it manually. And you can decorate this with different types of symbols. So if I choose, let's say, something like that. So the template comes with a collection of icons for different use cases, and you can use these icons there at the top bottom right, and you can have your name in there. The name can be in the lower position, or it can be in a top position. So if I play it there, it's going to move up. And this is really like depending on your background and your other screen content where you want to use these things. And obviously we can introduce a logo in here. So if I bring in something, I don't know what these are, but let's use this one. So this one brings on a logo, or it should. Yeah, here we go. Not the greatest logo in the world. And the logo feature has additional text field for like social media callout. So you can have your website in there, or something else, some additional information. And obviously the colors we can customize. So I can go into the settings and I can choose the accent color. So you can, like, I can now pick this orange color from the bottom left using the color picker. So now I'm picking the darker shade of that orange, like so. And now we have that in our graphic. So now it matches our logo. But as I said, the logo is not the greatest one. So let's try something else, not a logo. Let's go with the blue logo. So now we have a blue and orange logo, and we can go into the settings, and I can try to match the accent color from the blue ring. So now that should match that. And here we go. And the icon also uses the accent color. So this is something which is a fairly, I would say, advanced graphic, and we can individually we can remove all these from screen and do like however we wish to use these graphics.
Yeah, I love it, and as you know, I've been using it now. I guess about a month. But that was the last time we had a conversation about it, and I love using it. And so, if someone is interested in finding out the features on each of the components or overlays of SPX, what would be the best method for that?
Explore. Spend some time with it. I think that's the best. So obviously we do have like technical documentation, we have some video clips, we have a website, but really the best way is really to go and add the application to your Zoom and just explore. It's not going to break anything. It will take a little while for you to understand how it works. It is pretty simple to use, but the first time you use it, you might find it a bit confusing. So, but it is the reason for that is that we are trying to keep the user interface very simple, but at the same time, so that it is functionally pretty deep. And that means that there are things that you can go deeper, and you can make like further adjustments as you learn it. So the first time when you see it, you can just enable default features and you can see the default graphics. But once you want to really customize it to your needs, it will take a little bit of experimentation. So just spend your time like an afternoon with it, and I'm sure you will find a lot of interesting things in it.
I think it's amazing. Again, I'm a fan. So people who have Windows and Mac can use it, but what about Linux users?
I think it really depends on if your Zoom meeting client supports Zoom apps. That's the main thing. So we really don't care about your computer, but Zoom does. So I
Okay.
think on Linux, the Zoom apps are not supported. So you would need to have a Windows or Mac computer to use apps. That's at least how I understand it.
And I just want to introduce a little bit of a controversy in this, and you tell me if I'm wrong or not. Some of the things that you can do with SPX can be done with OBS, but OBS has an extremely long and difficult learning curve in terms of trying to use it. Is that accurate?
That is very accurate. So OBS, I would consider that as a production tool. So if you consider yourself a production person, that is tool for you. If you consider yourself as a more of a casual user or a Zoom user, then I wouldn't really bring in that complexity that OBS or similar software brings to you, because you can in there with these production tools you can use our uh, main SPX graphics application that you can install onto your computer, and there are settings there that you can bring that into your production environment, so that you can trigger graphics like we are doing here in Zoom, but you are triggering these graphics for your production tool, and the output from your production tool, then you can pipe that into Zoom. So you can really use OBS to do similar things. They are not identical, but you can do similar things with the OBS approach.
Okay. Well, I tried OBS and I left it alone. So I'm just going to
Yeah.
be transparent and say that this works for me. And
Yes.
so we're down to our last couple of questions. And what's next for Tuomo Kulomaa?
Wow. We as a company are growing very fast. So for me, this has been an excellent journey because I started this thing on my own. This was a baby project of mine. Now we are an actual functioning company with actual things that the companies will need to do, and one of those things is attending trade shows. So we are now focusing on all of our development efforts to showcase new stuff at the trade show in Amsterdam in Europe in September. So that is something that we as a company are really trying to focus our attention to, and that's where Tuomo is also going to be focusing on. So after that, I will try to take a little break, because there has been a lot of work that we are putting into the application and our services and into the company. But it's going to a right direction. I'm super happy about it. I'm super proud of what we have done. I'm super proud of our team and the professionals who are doing all the work behind the scenes. So that is awesome. But that is really like what I'm focusing on September.
All right. All right. We're down to our last question. So you're speaking to the world. What do you want the world to know?
Hmm. it's a happy place. So all the people you meet, most of the people you meet are great people. Like I've done a bit of traveling, and I've noticed that if I have a question, I'm anywhere in the world, and if I have a question and I tap onto a stranger's shoulder, they will turn to you, smile, and ask, "How can I help?" And I feel like uh, this is something that some people are forgetting. Like, world is a super happy place. Of course, there are issues, but I am pretty optimistic about things. I always try to be nice to people, and they are doing exactly the same to me. So like I find it very inspiring to meet new people, and I always see that this thesis actually is correct. So there are not many situations where I have been proven wrong about this. So that's what I want other people to think about as well.
Thank you so much, sir, for being with me today. Conversation with Tony Mobley is produced by valued audio-visual professionals who meet daily on Office Hours Global, hosted by Alex Lindsay. We want to thank everyone for participating in this conversation tonight. We want to thank Mimo Live. This conversation has been powered by Mimo Live. We have conversations with real people. When you have time, we ask that you take a look at the 100+ conversations that we have, and hopefully you will find something that is meaningful or maybe helpful to you. Again, we want to say thank you to Mr. Tuomo Cuomo for being a part of our conversation today, for doing the work you do, and for being the person who you are. Thank you so much, sir. And again, I appreciate you staying up late or getting up late early to have this conversation with me. Next week, we're going to have Dr. Masana Morris, Director of Metaversity Programs of Morehouse College. She's going to be on, and she's going to be talking about the metaversity at Morehouse College. And we want to thank everyone so much for being with us today. And we ask that you like this conversation. And you can also donate to conversationwithtonymobley.com. We want to ask you to take care. God bless you. See you soon. Bye.